The opinions expressed on this podcast are our own and do not represent the views of any businesses, sponsors, organizations, or partners we work with.
All right, welcome to the Boomtown Crew. Welcome to the Boomtown Crew Podcast. I'm your co-host today, Shane Willis, United States Army combat vet and firefighter. Today we have our other co-host, Reno Oliveira, and our special guest today, Colton Calger. So if we want to kick it off real quick, Reno, you want to introduce yourself to the lovely folks?
Again?
Yes.
Do I need to do it again?
Yes, you do.
All right. Hey, I'm Reno, Marine Corps combat vet and firefighter. I also helicopter manager for the state.
Perfect. That was way better than mine last time.
Yeah.
Perfect. Special guest time. Colton Calger in the house.
Yeah, so not a vet, but definitely firefighter. Local firefighter, not too far away from these guys. Work with the state quite a bit. I don't know what else you guys want to know.
I don't know how long you've been in fire, man.
Yeah.
Ooh. Since, let's see, I started in fire in 2015 as a cadet with the department. And then once I turned 18, went full-fledged with them. I got hooked and been doing it ever since. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're second generation?
Yep, second generation.
Yeah, because your dad's the big El Jefe chief.
Yeah, he's up there, that's for sure.
In age.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that. He's going to kill me for that.
Perfect. We'll send it to him right away.
He is in his prime.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's fire chief, IC for a national incident management team for wildland fire. Known on a national basis pretty much for a lot of the not legality, but legislature stuff.
Yeah.
Very big in like the International Fire Chiefs Association, the volunteer combination system, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I got big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, you hear his name all over across the board, wherever we go.
Yeah, no, it's wild. I mean, every time I go out on a fire assignment somewhere or go anywhere, I got the opportunity to go down to the International Association of Fire Chiefs Conference. What was that, November, I think, down in Florida. And yeah, it was kind of wild. You know, I've always known everybody around here that knows him, but then going down to like the national side of things and like, oh, you're Chief Calger's kid or you're Rich's kid or whatever. It's like, yeah, is that a good thing or a bad thing? But yeah, I mean, for the most part,
It's like walking around with a celebrity. Like that the first assignments, you're helping me out getting my engine boss task book going, and we end up in Helena on a complex fire, and of course it's your dad's team.
Yep.
And I had no idea what to expect. Like, I know your dad's somewhat famous. He travels. I see beach pictures all the time with his toes in the sand or some darn thing.
Yep.
And I had no idea how much of an impact he's had on so many people. But walking around in camp, either you or your dad, like, we're sitting there having a conversation, or mostly you talking to your dad about whatever, and people are just walking by staring. They're like, you're talking to the IC.
Yeah.
Who are you? Are you important? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, it's funny, you know, there's a lot of times going on those assignments and stuff like that and going on assignments with his team or getting ordered up to be on his team or whatever, however that works. But it's interesting because, yeah, it's kind of this weird connection of like, yeah, I know him, but I don't want people to know that I know him because I don't want, you know, there's that whole stigma and everything. But at the same time, it's like, it's kind of cool being like,
Little Calger's getting all the cool assignments because his dad said so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the stigma I'm sure you worry about.
Well, and it's not only that, you know, it's not only on the wildland side of things, it's on the department side of things, it's on the structure side of things. It's across the board. It's definitely something I've had to deal with for pretty much my whole career. Part of it's my mistake in a sense because I'm still part of the same organization that he's a part of. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's always going to be that stigma, but my goal is to prove to people that I got to where I am because I did the job.
Yeah.
I did it well.
You made a name for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a great thing too. You know, like even for the military, I followed in my father's steps. Mm-hmm. I decided, hey, well, my dad was Air Force. I'm going to go Marines and be the first Marine in the family. You know,
the first man in the family.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. My dad's going to kill me for that one
Probably.
because I'm agreeing with it.
It's all right. We'll die together.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
I'm the only one in the clear today.
So far.
So I guess one of the questions that I was going to bring up, you mentioned going out on assignments and you have that side and doing the team stuff. But
Yep.
what does it really look like? You're one of the very few combination departments in the area. One of the things that we are ourselves in our department is kind of looking at that model, maybe in the future, a whole lot of red tape and a lot of questions to figure out between here and there. But you guys already have that. What does that look like? How do you guys combat the paid staff to the volunteers, and what does that look like? There always seems to be some banter, division, whatever you want to call it. What does that look like?
It's difficult. Across the board, it's definitely difficult because you do have that stigma of, the paid staff is the one that seems to be running a lot of the calls or the majority of the calls. But you also have the volunteers that are coming in that are trying to make that difference as well. And they're trying to run with that duty crew or that paid staff.
Yeah.
They're trying to work together with them. But a lot of times the guys that are always running the calls are always pissed off because the guys that aren't running the calls aren't running the calls, right? Mm-hmm. It's a difficult balance to try and figure out. Currently we're at 9 paid staff, considered 911 paid staff, and then one we hired a maintenance position. So technically we're paid 10 paid staff now. We actually just brought on 7 more volunteers within the last 2 months. We're actually putting them through a version of our academy right now. We're kind of trying to revamp that process a little bit, but we've got something like I want to say like 50-ish roster or 40-ish rostered volunteers, 40 or 50 somewhere in there. So the core group is that 9 or 10 paid staff, but the department as a whole, we're almost 60 people. We just have to you have to go into it thinking about that process or that in going into it with that mindset of we're all on the same team. Some people are paid to be here and that's their job. Some people are volunteering their time to come in and help us. So, a lot of people think that the volunteers are supplementing the paid staff, but in all reality, it kind of goes both ways. Depending on the day, depending on the call, our volunteers are supplementing the paid staff and the paid staff are supplementing the volunteers so that we can provide that coverage, that consistent coverage across the board for our community and our coverage area.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are pretty damn busy. I mean, from taking assignments and sending crews out to other states to help out there to you run a fuels crew out there full time. And I believe you're the supervisor for that.
So I guess that was something I probably could have said in the introduction, but so I'm full-time with the department. I got hired on a couple of years ago to run the fuels mitigation and wildland contract side of things. So I'm the supervisor for that. We hired on another guy to do help with the assistant side of things, who's also working on his engine boss. We've got a core group of engine bosses there. On the 911 side, I'm currently at the rank of lieutenant, but I just got moved up to interim captain. We had one of our captains step down just due to time. Just between job and life and everything else, he didn't feel like he could commit the proper time to that position. So for the time being, I'm filling in since at the time I was the only lieutenant that was eligible to fill in that position. But we're definitely busy. I think this year we're a little slow. I don't know if everyone across the board has seen that.
I'd say so.
Yeah, we're probably only about half to 2/3 of our normal call volume for this time of the year. But what was it, 2 years ago now? 2 years ago, we had an all-time record high, almost 1,200 calls. We run a combination system of not only combination paid volunteer, but combination of we run fire, EMS, we're all hazard. So, we do swift water rescue, ice water rescue, confined space rescue, wildland, hazmat, as little of hazmat as we can get into, but still hazmat, structure, EMS. We're at one point in time, we were the only ALS service in our county. That's currently changed for the better. There's other agencies now running ALS, which is really cool, but we're still kind of the big brother of the county, of the area in a sense, just because we have paid staff, we have the majority of the people, we have the equipment.
Right. And for our listeners, what's ALS?
advanced life support, so like paramedics.
Yep.
You know, everyone pretty well used to rely on BLS, basic life support, so EMTs and stuff, which, I mean, when stuff hits the fan, I guess I can't say that one word, but if stuff hits
Oh,
the
you
fan,
100% can.
Oh, you can
if
say that word.
If shit hits the fan,
you go.
Perfect.
BLS can do a lot, you know, in all reality, and that was the basic way of saving lives back in the day. But, you know, now we've got the paramedicine and paramedic programs, and, you know, they can push drugs that they need to affect the body differently and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's definitely a higher level of service that we can provide for the community.
Yeah.
Do what we can to better protect and save lives and get them to the hospital with a higher level of care. You know,
Yeah.
it's seen a lot of success across the nation.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. So, well, there was an article it was a couple weeks ago. One of your apparatus
Apparatus.
got hit on the side of the road.
Yeah. I was actually out of town for that one, but our crews responded to a motor vehicle accident out on the interstate. I mean, same thing that you guys have. And I know you guys have had a couple apparatus hit as well. So, yeah, they were out on the interstate. They did everything right. They set up traffic like they were supposed to. Obviously, our initial response is always going to be a little low staff, just because we do have that paid staff that can roll out relatively quickly. Our shoot times are like under 2 minutes kind of a thing for out the door, under 2 to 3 minutes. But, you know, that secondary response coming in with extra apparatus, with extra traffic control and stuff is a little bit delayed. So they had everything set up. They had their taper set up. They had the cones, the road signs, and everything set up. And it just so happened that either somebody wasn't paying attention or didn't want to pay attention. You know, I wasn't in those shoes, so I don't know, but ended up passing a semi or going around a semi and rear-ended the engine.
And you guys are without that's a frontline truck. That's one of your
our
main
frontline.
structured truck.
Yep, that's been our frontline truck for the last 5 or so years. You know, we do have quote-unquote backup apparatus, but they're much smaller. They're, you know, smaller trucks, you know, trucks that we used to have as frontline got moved to secondary and stuff like that got displaced or moved between a couple of different stations and whatnot. I will admit, you know, having that frontline rig gone is, you get used to a certain luxury, and then when it's taken away, you're like, holy crap, how did we ever survive with this?
So what was your guys's, how did you guys respond to that? What's your alternate for apparatus that you're doing?
So currently, you know, with that engine being gone, you know, I'll give a little backstory on that engine. That engine came into our organization used. We weren't able to afford a brand new truck at that point in time, but we found one that would work for us, that was still in really good condition. Yeah. That truck ended up taking the place of 2 different apparatus. So we used to have a rescue truck as well as our structure engine. But you know, when we were first in the early stages of getting the paid staff and whatnot, we had a hard time getting both trucks out the door to car wrecks. We either had to choose between, well, do we need the tools that we need to get somebody out, or do we need water in case this thing catches on fire? So that truck ended up replacing 2 different apparatus. We were able to, it's a Pierce rescue pumper. So we were able to fit all of the stuff that we had on those 2 trucks into that one truck, which was fantastic. We didn't have to choose which truck we needed to take anymore. We could roll the one. It had everything we needed. Currently now what we're doing is we're back to running 2 trucks. You know, the majority of our extrication equipment and whatnot, we do have an engine that was set up as our kind of mini rescue pumper. Back in the day, that truck is now back frontline in the first out station, has the majority of our extrication equipment, but we still can't fit everything on it. So our Type 3 now is also set up with a lot of our, I'm not going to say a lot of our heavy duty extrication stuff, but a lot of miscellaneous pieces that we couldn't fit on the other truck.
Right.
And then like our ladder truck, for instance, that truck now has all of our random special operation rescue stuff on it, which we had to take a lot of stuff off of the rescue to make all that fit, but we still needed a truck to do all of our, you know, rope rescue, high angle, low angle rope rescue and all that kind of stuff. All of that equipment had a place on the other engine. Yeah. So technically, you know, frontline, we're still running 2 engines now, but technically if we're looking at all the equipment as a whole, we're 3 different trucks now.
Yeah, I mean, that really sucks. One person failing to slow down and move over, which is a recent law that was passed in Montana. it has a huge ripple effect within your organization and the safety and welfare of your firefighters and the people who serve that organization, as well as the people who you guys actually serve.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Moral of the story, slow down, move the fuck over. Don't take the brand nice new equipment out of service so they have to run back up a gear.
Yeah.
Hey, he's got a point.
I mean, and the worst part about it, is part of that law came because of the 2 tow truck drivers that got hit in our district a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Alan and Casey. So those guys, similar situation. They had all their stuff set up. We were actually on scene. We had all of our stuff set up. We ended up, getting another call or having to leave. I can't remember exactly what it was. I wasn't specifically on that wreck, but my guys were on that wreck, and the tow truck came. They were trying to get everything cleared up. They had all of their traffic set up. One individual came in and couldn't stop and killed both of them. And in all reality, that was only a handful of miles away from where our engine just got hit too.
Yeah.
So that law was a big thing for us. It was a big push for our organization, as well as, the members in the organization, as well as neighboring organizations and everything. And it just really kind of sucks to see that even though there's laws in place that are supposed to prevent this stuff, it's still going to happen. Luckily our guys weren't hit. None of our guys were injured with it, but where that truck got hit, there was 4 of our guys standing there only a couple minutes before that wreck.
Yeah.
So,
and where exactly was that at? That's not on that big hill coming down to Columbus.
So it was actually going eastbound towards Billings.
Okay.
Rest area hill. So you go up there off the 417, you climb up that first hill.
Yeah.
And then there's that kind of a corner right before the rest area. It was right there on that corner.
So there's a possibility of a blind spot around that corner.
There was, but everybody, all of the, our guys coming into that wreck afterwards, after our engine got hit, everybody that was coming in after that to help support that accident, they said they could see the lights for miles. There was enough lights out there between fire trucks and deputies and the ambulance and everything that even guys coming into it that weren't up on top of the hill yet could say, they were saying that they could see the glow from all the lights shining up on the hill above them. So it was kind of one of those things there might be a little bit of a blind spot or didn't quite understand what was going on. But, that's why we're putting the signs out and everything that, quite a ways out ahead of the wreck to start warning people. But, we all know how, as much as I hate to say it, people don't read road signs, and it causes us job security.
Yep.
Yeah,
so,
unfortunately. Well, and a lot of people get just mad and pissed off that we're even there. It's an inconvenience for them. And that following your guys' accidents and the tow truck drivers, and then we get hit on the highway, we changed our tactics almost completely. We increased our standoff distance tremendously. We used more equipment to do it.
Yep.
We were pretty fortunate enough to get, I believe it was on a grant, to get a DOT reader board that's mounted to one of our trucks that we can program to say whatever is needed. We're pretty fortunate within Laurel that we have a guy who works for the DOT, and he was able to get us access to some of the new signage that's permanent there.
Yep.
So I can make a quick phone call and say, hey, I need you to say this.
Yep.
And within a couple of minutes, it's done.
Yeah. And, we've used different, tactics and stuff like that. We actually have, we've got a reader board mounted on one of our trucks. It nicknamed it the sign truck for obvious reasons.
Yep.
But that truck now, its sole purpose in life, it used to be one of our command rigs. It used to be one of our frontline command rigs, and it's got some mechanical issues now. So it's not exactly the most reliable for long distance, but within district, it's perfect. We've actually got it mounted with a permanent signboard, as well as multiple different pop-up signs, signboards, a bunch of cones, bunch of flares. That is now our traffic control truck. We actually have a second board that we're planning on putting another truck. We're just trying to figure out which truck we're going to put it on. There's hope that eventually there may be a consolidation of districts coming soon.
Yeah.
There's some people that hope that. There's obviously both sides of the story.
There's some opposition.
Yeah. But if that ends up going through, then that's our plan, is to have that signboard out in that district as well, so that we have signs across the district that can respond, everywhere. So,
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, you got any other questions, Reno?
No, I think that was great.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, what we forgot to mention, if the listeners haven't realized, is Reno is sick. and he sounds weird. Well,
That's
weirder
why I'm
than
not
normal.
talking as much. Yeah.
I forgot to mention it at the beginning, so that's why I'm your main host today. So,
Have you come up with an outro yet?
no, not at all.
No?
I couldn't think of anything. I tried to chat GPT it, and everything it came up with was absolutely terrible. Like, Reno Out just has a perfect flow to it.
Yeah.
My name is the problem.
Shane.
Willis out.
Yeah,
It doesn't work. I can't copy the same thing he's got. I'm unique.
Oh, I know it.
Deuces.
Willie out. Because he loves Willie.
No. Stop it.
Keep your Willis out and about.
Keep your Willis wrapped or something stupid.
No,
I'll work on it.
There was, I can't remember, you had asked something earlier and I think I completely skipped over it. I think it was about the assignments or something like that. Is there a way we can rewind and listen to that?
Not in an easy fashion.
Oh,
No. But
no, I mean,
You know
we
what
can just
I-
talk about that.
You know what I'm talking about though?
Yeah,
What
the
were
difference in the assignments and like our home state is Montana, and we're out there, and we get to see more calls and a little bit more action versus if we go on a 14-day or 21-day roll. I don't know
what to do with my hands. To be honest. Like, I just,
Yeah,
You're good.
you can lean back a little bit, or
oh,
you know,
just 5 inches, remember? Yeah.
Don't bump the table. It's crappy in post.
I can fix it a little bit, so and people understand, right?
Yeah.
So, no, we were talking about like the differences in roles and you know the responsibilities that you're given. You know, whoever you're assigned to, whether you're going to Texas, South Dakota, California, and versus here. You know, when severity hits here, we're running and gunning, and we're the number one resource for that stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of differences. Running locally in your own district, then also working severity for DNRC for our land office.
Yep.
Then even going in state across the state, and then even going out of state. You know, it's interesting to see kind of the differences. The cool part about it is you get to meet some fantastic people.
Oh, yeah.
Across the states. You know, the fire service. Everybody knows the fire service on the structure side is a very tight knit community. Well, it's a lot of the same lines on the wildland side as well.
Yeah.
You know, for the fire service as a whole, whether you're structure or wildland, you know, union or not, pro or not, volunteer or not, whatever, it's a very tight knit community. So you get to meet some amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
I've met guys out on fires that I'm still in contact with today, and that was 5-6 years ago. Yeah, it might be a random, hey, happy Christmas or something like that. But it's or Merry Christmas, I guess, not Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, whatever it works.
Whatever we wanna
Happy
call it,
birthday, or stuff like that. Guys that are still checking in that you work with for a couple of days and then you never see them again, but they're still checking in, seeing how the family's doing and all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. The other thing is you get to experience a lot of different ways of doing things. I mean, like for an example, even in our local area, most departments are carrying hose packs, progressive hose packs or something along those lines. But in 5 different departments, there's like 7 different ways of doing it, right?
Yep.
So going across the United States and seeing how different people fight fires, and I'll admit, fires aren't the same, across the board. The fire is not fire. Different areas burn differently. Their terrain influences, their fuel types, their fire departments, their resources, available resources and stuff like that is completely different across the board. We went down. I've had the opportunity to go everywhere from Florida to Alaska and most places in between in my very short career. We've had guys over in Pennsylvania on brush trucks, which that was wild to them because we were in a Type 5 engine, or our guys were in a Type 5 engine, and they're out there working with a bunch of guys in full bunker gear and structure engines fighting grass fires or woods fires, as they call them, or whatever. And even just the terminology across the board is completely different. We can get on the number one thing that every firefighter likes to disagree on is a tanker, depending on where you're from.
It's a tender or if
Tender,
it's in the sky, if a tanker.
Out here, if you call for a tanker, by God, you're getting one with wings, not necessarily one with a tank on it.
Yeah, I want a lat or a V-lat.
Yep. So it's stuff like that. But, we got sent down to Florida and, we went into it with the mindset of like, yeah, we're fighting fire. There's no difference. Like, what's the big deal until you get down there and it's like, oh, there's one really big difference. This stuff is burning in their red flag is 60%. Anything lower than 60% RH.
Yeah.
Well, and then you look at Texas. Their RH is like 1 to 7%. They're like, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
You're like
what? Yeah,
Out
you know,
here.
out here it's like, we're getting into the teens and we're kind of starting to pucker up a little bit.
Anything
you know?
under 20, I think, is where
and down, like I said, the big difference down there is their humidity down in Florida. Like that was one of the wildest things to realize was it rained an inch 5 minutes ago and this thing's still cranking. Wild. The other big difference that I'm not used to around here, sand. You know how hard it is to drive a freaking Type 5 engine through the sand? I was stuck more in that engine in the 2 weeks we were in Florida. Well, actually, it was a month. We were down there for a month. But I was stuck more in that month in that engine than I ever was in the rest of my career combined. And I am not proud to admit that because we were on flat ground. That's the other thing. Florida is flat. Very flat.
Did you guys end up releasing pressure out of the tires to drive out there? Or?
No, us northern boys, we're not necessarily used to stuff like that. So, up here, everyone's like, oh, pizza cutter tires, that'll get you through everything. Down there, it's like, no, I mean, your guys' Brush 4 probably would have been fantastic down there, but, we're running, the stock tire size like on a 550 dually and everything. And it's like, there's... You don't get a lot of traction in the sand on that stuff, but
that's funny that you mentioned that. It's not something I really thought about, like the fuel types and different terrain and people and all that stuff. But the just getting to the job.
Oh yeah, I mean,
serious
you should have seen the first time I got sent down to California.
Yeah,
I was in a freaking Type 3 engine, and the most traffic I've ever drove in was Billings, Montana. And now I'm driving through Salt Lake City and LA County, LA City, and all this other stuff in a truck that, like, I'm fairly competent to drive, fairly confident in driving around here. And now all of a sudden I'm on a 10-lane interstate, running down the interstate I'm just trying to keep up with traffic, and I've got that engine pegged out.
Well,
it's
that's that big city driving. I call it the 20-minute mile. Like every mile you go 20, you're 20 minutes driving time, especially if you hit traffic.
Yeah, there's some pretty rough roads like that assignment that when we were out on your engine, I mean, just to get to the station that we were at all day was one of and actually is the most treacherous road I have ever driven on. Like it took me a few days with the other engine boss on their crew, letting him do it. And I'm kind of mapping it in my head and doing all that. And then I'm like, hey, do you mind? I'm a pretty confident, very competent driver. Did that for a lot of years. And then I get behind the wheel of the same Type 3 and I'm going up this windy, crazy, like I've got this much room on either side from a cliff that way vertical or vertical that way on the right side. And I'm like, I'm good with going up. Down, no thank you.
Yeah, down, I mean, and that's the interesting part is it's like, you get used to your local area, right? Which is what you need to do. You need to get used to your local area to where you can't screw up in your local area, right?
Right.
But man, I'm going to be honest, there's a lot less I can bitch about. Every time I go out, there's something that I bitch about back home that when I go out, it's like, I can't do that anymore. Like, and the roads, I mean, that's a big thing. I've never been in a situation where the roads were so tight and so narrow. And I mean, those guys, I'll give them props, man. They'll put a road just about anywhere. And half the time it's half paved.
Oh yeah.
Half paved.
So, but now we can talk opposite too. Texas. I mean, you're like, all right, cool. I got to go to the other side of the state. You're driving for hours.
Oh,
the next town over is 2 hours over, and you're just cruising and flat. It's still a lot of drive time.
Yep. No, I mean, we got when we got sent down there, we were going down to relieve another crew that had already been down there for 2 weeks, and we were up in that Amarillo area, Childress area, actually up in the Panhandle, and surprisingly,
I knew it.
Surprisingly enough,
homie,
that was good.
I knew it was going to happen.
But yeah, surprisingly enough, like it was kind of like Montana's obviously a big state. You can drive if you go from the very southeast corner all the way to the northwest corner. Like it takes you a long time.
Yeah.
And we were in Childress, and I left the snowy, cold weather to go down to Texas to fight some freaking fire.
And then we got snow.
And then it snowed.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a big bummer. Not for those guys. They needed it. But it was kind of a bummer for us going down there. But then, so we ended up actually getting moved even further south. all the way down to Corpus Christi area.
Yeah.
Dang.
Which was cool. It took us a whole one of our 14 days to get down there, which was kind of interesting. But, you know, we got down there, and I think we were down there for a total of 4 days, and we caught 2 fires and 3 other potentials that we were getting ready to go to in those 4 days.
I was so jealous. I was texting him. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, because you guys were down there at the same time, but
Different task force.
Yeah, different task force.
different
Yeah.
groups.
I didn't see shit when I was down there.
Yeah. No, we ended up getting, you know, like I said, the night that we pulled into the station that we were out, that we got assigned to, which was about 45 minutes north of Corpus Christi, 45 to an hour, depending on how fast you drive. Like we literally pulled in, and the FMO for that station was pretty much like, yeah, just head to the hotel. You know, when you guys get here, just head to the hotel. There's no sense in coming in. Well, then like we're just pulling into town, and we see all of the rest of our task force heading out towards the station. We're like, oh, that's kind of interesting. So, you know, we were told, go to the hotel. So that's where we went. And next thing I know, like they're calling us like, hey, like get ready to get geared up. We might have a fire for you guys. It was like, all right. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cool.
This full day drive was definitely worth it.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So you one of the things that I was going to ask you about is you got those long drive times, you got periods of downtime.
Yep.
Maybe after supper, if you're hanging out in the truck and you guys usually run 3-man crews on the Type 5s out on these assignments. How do you combat boredom? Because there's a lot of that.
Yeah. Hacky sack.
You want the PG version or not?
No, let's do both, man.
You know, how's that saying go? Idle hands are the devil's advocate or something like that. Something like that. I can't remember.
Fact checker.
Yeah.
Idle hands are the devil's what?
Devil's friend or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly.
That probably makes more sense.
That would definitely make more sense. But you know, there's a whole level of truth to that, right? And it's even worse when you get into a group of firefighters. And everybody knows the stigma of firefighters. You know, we're very dark-minded, dirty-minded group of individuals.
Yep.
I would almost say the wildland side can be even worse at that point in time. You know, there's a whole list of characters in the wildland side that the structure side probably won't see, or don't want to see. We'll put it that way. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, for years trying to combat all that stuff, it was hard. I mean, the nice part about it is every one of us carries one of these now, so all of us can sit and do our own thing on these. But, you know, that doesn't build that crew cohesion, and that's one of the things that you really, really want. You know, we've all worked together enough that I know what you guys are capable of and vice versa. Well, when I've got a rookie on the engine or something like that for 2 weeks in an area that I've never fought fire before, I've never fought fire with this guy or kid before. I'm going to call them kids because they in all reality are actually kids. I'm starting to get to be one of the oldest ones, and I'm not even in my 30s yet, so that's kind of wild. But you know, it's hacky sack is a big one for my crews, anyways. Hacky sack is a big one. We did a fire assignment up in Kalispell, and you know that year we didn't get a lot of fire when we were doing severity up there, but my God, every engine that was up there, every crew that was up there were hardcore into hacky sack. So I got really hardcore into hacky sack. So therefore, we as a group, I'm not going to say as a department because there's only a group of us that really do it. But on the wildland side, like hacky sack is a big one. People get pissed off because they don't get, you know, you got to practice it to get good at it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not super great at it. I'm decent, but I'm not super great at it.
Well, that's where you go pelt. You only have to hit it 3 times and catch it.
This is true, but you know, it's
the downside is some people's aim sucks, and then you're in a big grassy field and you launch that thing like a missile, and it's 100 yards that way, and you're not gonna find it.
Or when you bounce it off somebody's tent, and we're pretty sure it almost blew through their tent. Or when we're playing until 10 o'clock at night, unknowingly not realizing what the time is.
People are yelling at us.
Yelling at us because we're being too loud and whatnot. But you know, to me, finding little stuff to do like that is you're going to build that crew cohesion, that camaraderie within the crew. Yeah. It fights the boredom. You're doing something together. If you can figure out a way to do something that's even in any way, shape, or form, like movement, you know, like heck, we'll throw a football around. We were on a fire assignment down somewhere south that the whole task force, we were sitting in staging, and we were staging in a baseball field. So we went and bought a bat and a baseball bat and started playing softball.
Yeah.
Not exactly the greatest idea, because at that point in time, it was one of the most destructive fires in that state. But we were staging for any new starts at that point in time.
Yeah.
They had everything that they needed on the fires to handle the fires. The fires were pretty well knocked out at that point. So we were staging there for any new initial attack, any new fires that popped up in that area. We had crews and teams, task forces. We had task force on top of task force on top of task force on top of heavy equipment task forces and aerial everything that we could throw at this. At one point, I think the state that we were in has a dozer fleet of like 50 some dozers, and 40 of them were sitting in our camp at that point in time. It was awesome. There's one of our guys carries a quote book, and he writes down anything that he thinks is funny in this quote book from his time in the department. And one of the ones that he has for me, I had completely forgot about this one until just the other day. And apparently on a fire, we were watching a dozer drive by, and I was like, damn, heavy equipment makes me so freaking hard. But in all reality, it's true.
Yeah,
right?
like, it makes the job so much easier. You can have a whole shot crew digging hand line in the middle of nowhere, and it takes them hours upon hours to do one blade length or width of a dozer, when a dozer can go right through it. Yeah, no problem.
And don't get me wrong, there's absolutely a place for those guys, and there's a lot of places that heavy equipment can't get into, but by God, when you can get heavy equipment in there, that is, I know you love your helicopter, and the helicopter has saved our ass a lot of times, but I think, the dozers and graders and stuff in there, we can say that those guys have saved our ass just as much, as the helicopter. So sitting in a freaking camp where you got 40 matching, painted the same, all the same decals on the transports are shiny. Like, it was just, I don't know how many times at night we would just like walk through the dozers and go talk to the dozer guys. And, going back to meeting really cool people, we actually, one of the dozer guys down there ended up moving down there from Montana and used to live in Livingston. So he used to drive. He used to work up at Stillwater Mine and everything. So when he saw our shirts and saw our truck,
I know where you're from.
I know you guys, and we were like, that's a little weird. Yeah, that same assignment, actually, we ended up going down and touring one of Cal Fire's their air bases, and we got to tour one of their new Firehawks when we were down there on this air base. And lo and behold, one of the guys that works on that ship, his aunt lives in our town. That's cool. He comes up and visits every now and then, and he's like, I've drove past your guys' station. I've always wanted to come in and talk to you guys. But
do it.
Like, absolutely. I'm like, if I had a spare shirt that wasn't all sweaty and nasty, I'd probably give it to you right now, but I'm sure you don't want that as much as I can't get rid of one of my 4 shirts.
Smell you wearing that shirt.
But so ever since then, since that fire, he came up to visit his aunt and swung into the station and said hi. So, that was pretty cool, going back to that kind of stuff. But it's, that whole world is different, and there's nothing about that world that I would give up at this point. Like, wildland's been my bread and butter. It's been my love ever since.
It's like fun camping, honestly. There's always something to do.
Do we want to talk about camping?
No.
Shane tripping and falling and losing $700?
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I don't gamble, man. I lose.
Hit it, bro.
Workshop?
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
We're at how much?
Over here. We're at 40 minutes.
Yeah.
On audio.
Oh, I must be looking at the other one then. 40 minutes, either way.
Yeah, we started a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so it's probably minus like 5 minutes or something. So it's probably
good.
close to 35. So, but this is probably a perfect time to bring up the next thing. So you're giving me a hard time.
You're avoiding.
Yes, I am. I lost a bunch of money because
there was no gambling.
No, it's 100% gambling. Between consenting adults and our off time.
All I'm going to say is, when I pitched the idea of playing that particular game, did I not try very hard to not use money?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I want to point that out there for the crew or for the crowd that this is not my fault. The game was my idea, but I was highly suggesting like candy. other dice, Monopoly money, hair, grass, like sticks of like wood sticks.
And it did start out that way.
It kind of did.
Yeah.
For the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, but then there's like 3 or 4 of us who are like, no, money.
Yeah.
I was being one of them. I learned my lesson.
Me.
And guess what? I still have PTSD when I see a 6 dice or 5 dice or however many it was for that game.
It's 5 dice.
5.
Yeah.
5, something like that. I don't
Something
know. I
like
see
that.
dice. And then
4.
what's funny is that
That's 4, yeah.
this story gets back to my station because of jerks like Reno and
I didn't
Dustin
say a
Shaka.
thing.
And liar. And then I have dice taped to my gear rack at the station.
Well, okay. So actually, and that's something that, going back to the whole fighting boredom, right? Fire service as a whole, we are, what did you say the quote was?
Idle hands are the devil's work.
Devil's workshop. Okay, yes. There is nothing more impressive than the things that a bunch of bored firefighters can come up with to pass the time across the board, whether it's structure, wildland, everybody. It is absolutely amazing. So going back to the whole, figuring out ways to kill the boredom and stuff, pranks. I mean, pranks are a huge one.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of a good one right off of the top of my head. There's been enough that I can't remember all of them.
Yeah,
very
you
well.
put yourself on the spot there.
MRE bombs.
Yep. That's classic.
That's a classic one. There's all sorts of random stuff.
Yeah, there's some of them they range in size.
Hey, Cody, can you hand me that hat right back there with the glasses on it?
Is this your world's okayest wildland firefighter?
This was between these guys when we were joking around.
I forgot about this.
So they had a couple ideas. There's the world's okayest firefighter.
Yep.
And then the Wildland Firefighters Mop-Up Crew, Mop-Up Legends. So that came from last year out of every time they'd go to a fire.
Not every time. That one particular guy.
Yeah.
That did come. I will give him all the credit for this as much as I love it, because we've talked about random stuff like that for years. He's finally the one that actually got it done. I mean, you guys got it done, but he's the one that actually was like, I will wear this if you guys make it. Like, no questions asked. And he kind of had a bad stretch. He's one of my engine boss trainees. He's been on the department for a long time. I mean, six-ish years now. Got hired on full-time with us last year. I mean, he knows his way around the trucks. It just hasn't gone through the official process of everything.
Right.
So he did have a string of, rocking fires that by the time he got there, they fell flat on their face, and it was the mop shots, as we we joke around. The mop shots. I like that.
I think every organization has one of those guys. We have one of our captains, actually. Same thing. If he gets on the truck, it doesn't matter what it is. It will be out or a complete BS call.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time. And we're like, oh, he showed up.
We're not going to get one.
Okay,
no, so here's a question then. Is that a white cloud or a black cloud?
Thank you.
We saw that where we talked about that. Colton corrected us. So black cloud, as I would assume, relates to being on fire. Means you're getting fires.
Okay.
So black cloud means you're rolling, you're doing a lot of work. White cloud, it's a standard.
You're not
day.
getting shit.
Yeah, so, there's no fire.
Here's a brain twist for you then.
No. And these brain twists. This is how we kill boredom.
Please.
Because once you're done with this, I'll some of the stuff that we talk about.
If we, as a service, are looking for more of that black cloud type personality of a person rather than a white cloud, is the public looking for black clouds or white clouds?
It's the public. They want white clouds. They don't want fires.
Yeah.
Like a good day, a good job, or a good day on the job for us is somebody else's worst day, potentially.
And that's the double-edged sword with this whole thing, right? Is the public will always have this weird misconception of these guys they want bad shit to happen.
No.
It's not that we always say, we say stuff like, man, that was a good fire, or, that fire kicked our ass, or man, we're really waiting for a good fire right now.
Yeah.
It's not that we want that stuff to happen. It's not that we want, people's worst days. We don't necessarily want to be a part of people's worst days, and anytime we get a fire, anything along those lines, it is somebody's truly their worst day.
Yeah.
But the reason we say stuff like that is because we want to use the skills and the training that we've spent a lifetime, in some people's cases, a lifetime training and doing the work and doing everything that we can to make ourselves better. So if that situation happens, then we can be better prepared and we can help, more efficiently or whatever. So it's not that we want the bad stuff to happen. It's just we want to use the skills that we've been sitting here festering on for years.
The best types of fires are the big ones. We're running and gunning and nobody gets hurt.
Yep.
Nobody's really affected. I mean, we're losing maybe some usable land for a while, but I'd say it's a renewal. Some of that stuff like ponderosa pine is a pretty big thing around here.
And that'll lead us down another, if we have time, that'll lead us down another conversation that
we can have as much time as we want. We figured out.
Well, so before we get too far, the one thing is fighting boredom. And one of the things that I really find a lot of fun, and I know you do this, I heard about it. So we get on the first assignment together and I'm like, I got to do this. I'm like, asking these silly kind of questions. Like, for example, what I'm thinking of right now is, if you clean a vacuum, are you then a vacuum cleaner?
Yes.
Exactly, right?
Yes.
You're just like, that's kind of weird. So then that led us down, I think we talked for like 4 hours straight.
Something along those lines, yeah. In between exploring mine shafts and stuff like that, when we were out, checking structures and stuff like that, the random, that was cool.
Yeah, or the American Ninja Warrior thing that we came across.
Home-built American Ninja Warrior course,
We're in the middle of the mountains in Helena, Montana, or a little bit outside of Helena.
Out there kind of at, what is it, McDonald Pass?
Yeah.
South of McDonald Pass, up the canyon up there.
We're doing structure triage and looking at all these. A lot of them are either second homes, like hunting cabins. Like there's some, maybe some sketchy folks that live off the grid. There's a lot of those.
And he was training for something.
Yeah, so we get up there and it's a pretty run-of-the-mill cabin. There's stuff laying around everywhere. Nobody's home. There's cameras everywhere. And there's a group of us that are doing this, and some of them you have to hike to get there. And we hike up there, look at it, we're like, yep, okay, this is actually not so bad. Well, then we see this like white PVC pipe thing that's another 100 yards up the hill. We're like,
suspended in the trees.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
Like chest level.
That's
like a pull-up bar or something, or like
that's a really short dude doing a pull-up if it's chest level. And I mean, it's even
really
worse
weird.
for you.
Yeah. So I'm like, curiosity killed the cat. I'm like, you know what? I'm going up there. I was like, I'll let you guys know. I'll make the hike. I go up there, and I can't remember who asked me. It was you, and you're like,
Rhett, I think.
Yeah. He's like, what'd you find? I'm like, you guys aren't going to believe it. It took me a minute to realize it. So there's this 10-inch PVC pipe suspended in the tree. And it was actually like like you have to hold on your hand and like jump across or whatever, the American Ninja Warrior. And I'm like, that's weird. So I started looking around, and then there's like these offset platforms where you'd like bounce back and forth. And then he had a homemade salmon ladder that you could clearly tell he bled from.
The trees. Like literally just nailed to these, I don't even know what tree they were. I can't remember for sure, but like saplings. So there's a lot of movement in them little bastards. And he's salmon laddering up this thing and
like the most
like running across planks. And I mean, literally there was saplings probably about yay big around that he like cut off with an axe. So they're not even straight, and just like nailed these pieces of plywood to, and you could tell like they've been run across.
Did you guys run into this guy?
No clue.
I don't know if you want to.
I was scared too.
So how do I explain this? Like, I can't come up the hill, and I'm like, this is an American Ninja Warrior Academy. This is where all ninjas are created.
Yeah.
Hillbilly ninjas. That's what it sounds like.
And they're like, what?
Yeah, no, it was. It's always.
Then it was can we run the course? We're like, nah, this has been here for at least a few years, and it was definitely not built very well at the beginning, and it's been here a lot longer than it should have been. So no.
Yeah. We put the kibosh on that really quick, but I mean, you know, we can go down a whole nother story of random things that people find out on fires in the middle of literally nowhere.
Yeah,
it's different fires where you go on that they're like, hey, we're going to put this giant hose line in, but when we're done here in a couple of hours, we're pulling the whole thing, because if we don't, people are going to steal it for their pot farms and stuff like. Obviously, that's not in this state, but
right.
You know, down in California and places in Northern California and stuff like that. I mean, it's if you left a chunk of hose out on the ground that next morning, it'd be gone.
Jesus,
like stuff like that where it's just wild. You know, guys walking out of the trees with fully automatic ARs and AKs.
Yeah, we
and
had
the
a
fire's
town hall.
burning at us, and it's literally like these guys walk out of the trees on some 2-track dark road somewhere with you can barely see a structure in the background, and they're just like, "What are you guys doing here?" And we're like, there's a fire
Leaving.
and
That's what we
they're
were
like,
doing.
"Okay,
Yep.
just go ahead and turn around." And we're
Yep.
like, "Oh yeah, no, absolutely,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
no."
that-
Say la vie. Good
Goodbye.
luck. Hopefully you make it out.
Yeah, like that same assignment we had, the guy during that town hall pulled a freaking weapon, was brandishing it in
Yeah.
front of a bunch of people, which
Yep.
was funny because we weren't there. We were actually, I think,
Yeah.
back at camp, but we hear about this and it was just a quick safety brief
Yep.
at the beginning before the workday actually starts. And yeah, the guy was out there brandishing a weapon. He was pissed that we were there and what we were trying
And
to
it
do.
was actually, he wasn't even brandishing it towards the firefighters. The firefighters in that drop point were there. It was a disagreement between two landowners. One landowner wanted all of the fireworks to be done. Like he wanted everything. He wanted dozer lines. He wanted, mastication projects. He wanted everything. And the other landowner was pissed off that we looked at his property, to put potential dozer lines and stuff in. And that ended up being what it was. It was just the crew that was there standing there trying to, like, they're yelling back and forth and everything. The crew's like, hey, might be a good idea to knock it off. And next thing you know, there's a pistol getting pulled out of a waistline and everything, and they're all ducking behind the engine.
Yeah,
and
well,
calling.
the townsfolk are a bunch of badasses. They like jumped him.
Yeah.
and said, "Don't you dare
Yeah.
put it away."
That's good. Yeah. Well, that adds to the dangers of the job too.
Yeah.
Like I want to go back to what you were saying. I was putting hours together for training, and our department itself, we put 5,000 plus hours this last year in training with everybody, and myself, I had 1,000 hours. So like 3/4 of our time we're training and putting those skills to those fires. Yeah, that's more important than anything. So we can get out there quick.
Yep.
It's just like getting ready for battle or combat. We do more training than we actually are out there in combat.
If you're not well prepared, then you're behind the curve.
Yeah, exactly.
And if in our business, and there's a lot of other businesses out there, career paths that are out there that are the same way. But if we're behind the curve in our business, we're losing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, people get hurt.
People get
die.
hurt. People can get killed. We're losing, homes. We're losing property. We're losing memories. We're losing livestock.
Yeah.
We're losing. There is a lot, and that's on the wildland side. You can lose a lot of the same stuff. Maybe not livestock in a structure fire.
I don't know, some people
Animals,
keep-
pets.
Yeah, pets. That's a big
Pets.
That's
one.
a big one. Yeah.
But it's if we're behind the curve, things go wrong. So the only way you can prepare for it in our business is you have to train on it. And if you're not training on it and it happens, whose fault is it?
Yeah.
So I think the training side of things is a huge push, not only on the wildland side, but across the board. That especially on the structure side, I was watching actually on the way here. I was watching a documentary on they pronounce it weird. I pronounce it like a Common Core. Worcester, but apparently it's Wester, Massachusetts. The Worcester 6 that died in the cold storage warehouse fire in '99.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I was going completely different, like wash your sister, Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, I was thinking
maybe that's where they
Worcestershire
got
sauce.
it from. Like
Yeah.
I said, it's spelled out Worcester, but
Yeah.
they're pronouncing it like Wester or Worcester or something like that in the
Yeah.
documentary.
No, but I've
whatever.
heard of this fire. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's those guys at that point in time were top of the line, right? And it's they died because they went into something that they didn't know about, but they died because they went in thinking that there was people inside. They got a report that there was people inside. The people that were inside had left when the fire started, but didn't tell anybody. They didn't stick around. They literally, the fire started, they tried putting it out, couldn't put it out, they left. They found them a few blocks away. So, but even stuff like that, like you can use those documentaries and those learning points of, that's all training. That's, people die and we learn lessons from it. We have to.
Yeah.
If we're not learning lessons from that kind of stuff, then then they died in vain.
Yeah, like
right?
a perfect example would be the 10 and 18. I mean, your watch outs.
Yep.
There's a lot of folks who died for those lessons to be passed on.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's the Helena, I forget the Man Gulch fire.
Yep. Man Gulch.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks that were killed on that.
Yep.
And one, I believe the story goes, one person ended up living because he burned around himself.
So that was
which
the
was
first
a brand new tactic at the time.
That was the first ever example of a backfire or a safety burn.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, anyways, that was the very first time that had ever been implemented, the very first time that had ever been talked about, the very first time that was even really an idea. And yeah, that individual survived because, you know, he realized we're not going to outrun this thing. We can't outrun this thing.
Yep.
But what's burning is something that I can change. And so he
remove
pulled out
the
a
fuel.
lighter or a match. I can't remember what it was, but literally burned a black spot for himself. And he was trying to get his crew in there and let the fire burn bigger so that there was, you know, more fuel taken out. And he was trying to get his crew in there. But that wild concept that nobody knew about, nobody had that same thought process. Nobody had that same idea. All they saw was, hey, this dude's lighting another fire. Like, what is he doing? He ended up surviving, but it's like, you know, you can learn a lot from any fatality fire.
Yeah.
You
Even
just
today,
you just have to dig for it. You know, you have to take the time to watch it or go through that documentary and see, you know, Plainfield, Plainfield, Indiana, I think. That was another documentary I'd watched a couple days ago where they had the Walmart Supercenter Distribution Center. The building was 34 acres. Damn. Huge.
That's huge.
If you go on YouTube, it's the day the sky turned black or something like that is the video, but it's about that fire and how it went from they thought the fire was extinguished to now all of a sudden a 34-acre building warehouse is completely involved, and they thought they lost a couple firefighters in it because the smoke conditions went from almost complete visibility to they couldn't see anything at the ground, and it was 4 stories high of shelving units. And what the only thing they can figure is the fire on the second floor, the sprinkler system put it out, but before the sprinklers kicked on and ember had gotten up to the 4th floor, they had checked the 3rd floor for extension. They shut the sprinklers off once they thought everything was good. Well, they shut that portion of the sprinklers off, the risers and everything, and nobody knew that 4th floor was still burning. So, you know, and they almost lost a couple guys in that. But I mean, you can go through all of these different documentaries and look at the mistake. I'm not going to say the mistakes that were made. Look at the choices that were made. See their thought process in it. I mean, truly ask yourself, would I have done anything different in that situation? If I thought that fire was out, you know, would I have shut the sprinklers off so we could start clearing visibility? Especially since they had a report that there was 50 unaccounted for employees in the building.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, it's easy to armchair quarterback stuff, but if you can just go into it with a mindset of like, hey, it's shitty, it happened. What can we learn from it to make the industry better across the board? You know.
Yeah, like today, I wouldn't even hesitate to burn around me if I felt like the fire was coming over.
No,
that's a standard practice now.
Yeah,
I mean,
all the time. A lot of us carry our own personal like flares and stuff. And
fusees,
I've seen them used. I personally used them. Like we didn't have a drip torch or it's up in the truck, and then we decided to burn. And I'm just going to use a fusee. But realistically, we carry them, or at least I carry them, just in case in that eventuality.
Yep.
And we have those little mini drip torches now made out of the PVC.
Yep.
You know, those are nice.
Yeah, every firefighter nowadays is going to carry a couple of fusees with them. And if they don't, one of the things that I've started teaching my guys is carry at least 2 lighters with you.
Yeah.
I've got 3.
Yeah, I carry
I carry one in my shirt pocket, one in my pants pocket, one in my pack.
Yeah.
Just in case, you know, maybe it's overkill. I don't know.
Maybe
I don't really care. They don't weigh a lot.
Dumped on by some guy in a helicopter with a bunch of water in his bucket, and your lighter no longer works.
I'm on the ground when the buckets are dropping, so.
Yeah, that was a good drop. Let's take another. Yeah. But yeah, you know, you never know what's going to happen. So if you can better prepare yourself, I mean, long story short, the more you can prepare yourself for what could happen, the better prepared you will be for when it does.
Exactly. Well, and then there's always random things. Did I ever tell you about the solar panel fire?
Mentioned it a little bit.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, stuff.
That was intense. Like, so we were out there barbecuing, another thing you do when you're bored, right?
Yep.
So I was making my big cowboy steaks.
Those
Seen-
like 5-inch thick ones.
Oh yeah. Seen a crap
5-inch.
ton. Yeah, 5-inch. Everybody's gonna get that one.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so just people rolling code right past us. We're like, what the hell is going on? Go out there and check over across the airfield. And like, oh, well, there's smoke out there. We're gonna get called. Let's get wrapped up and ready. So we're coming around the hill and we're like, I don't remember there being water over here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, sure as shit, we're like, oh, that's solar panels. And the pilot looks at me, he's like, well, how do we do this? I was like, well, just hit them. I was like, I don't know how we do this. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
never
it's such a
happened before.
unique thing.
Yeah.
And like, how do you send your crew out there? Because like for us, we wanted to make sure everything was isolated.
Yep.
And before I sent my crew out there, but that fire was getting ready to take off into the field.
Yep.
Well, everything that helicopter hit in between them, the fire was still going. So I was like, oh, we get in there and we just pat that out a little bit, you know, and it's just a different technique.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like
Yeah, I was on the ground for that, and one of the things that was made abundantly clear as we were going in, and we realized the location of it, and it was a solar farm.
Yeah.
Was coming straight from the FMO for the SLO, the Southern Land Office, big head cheese guy. And he said, nobody is going anywhere near those solar panels. We will surround, and as the fire comes out, get it until the power is isolated. I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, of course, that makes sense. We do the same thing on the structure side of things, or whatever. But yeah, it was a flapper job. That
Yeah.
there was no way to realistically be able to get a Type 5 into a spot. You'd have to anchor in there, get out of the truck, get your pack on, and then extend a bunch of hose line. You got wires and cabling everywhere.
Yep.
It's just a giant pain in the butt.
Yeah, there was a couple of parts there too. I had some new guys with me, you know, and there was a part where it got a little wily. The fire was coming right at me. Heard the helicopter. I was like, yo, pilot, drop right in front of us. And they're like, what? I was like, yep, high and fast, drop it. And killed it right in front of us. They're like, man, that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I was like, well, we don't normally want to see that happen, but this is such a unique scenario for us. I want to make sure we're getting to the black or what we're doing with that. So
Yeah, no, the wind definitely changed a few times while we were out there, which we're all grown accustomed to on any wildland fire we go. And I mean, you got a defined head and it's a running fire, and then all of a sudden it's backing and it took off behind you.
yeah,
So that happens, but I think we're getting a little short on time. So there's a couple other things we wanted to talk about. Which you trying to get me in trouble with my wife and gambling?
I didn't say it was gambling. It wasn't gambling.
No, it wasn't. I voluntarily gave up money.
It wasn't voluntarily that.
So
night.
we pretty big events that happened around the world is a Super Bowl, and of course we've alluded to and spoken about our family game nights and some of the fun, cool things. And one of the reasons why this podcast even exists was to have some fun, share experiences, have a chance to talk. Well, one of these things just transpired this past weekend, and it's my long-winded way of saying that Reno, there was some beers that were drank, some words that were said, and a video that resulted in all of those, a combination of things.
And I almost didn't come that night.
No, you were
I was
feeling
busy.
Yeah, you were busy working on the Infinite Patriots. There's never a shortage of work, but blowing off a little steam, we ended up with a video.
At least you got a good beer in your hand.
Yeah.
It was tasty.
I was kind of wondering if it wasn't going to be a White Claw after seeing this video for the first time. I'm not going to lie. You know, some seltzer or something like that. But, you know.
I'll get AI to edit that in.
So I ate my words. Not going to lie. I was confident that this was not going to happen. Now I'm getting a little scared.
Oh, I know.
You know.
You should be.
So
I'll keep watching it. If
basically, thank you. I appreciate you. That's the confidence I have in you. So basically, I had the confidence that I'll get a tattoo. Let's see 100,000 views. We're still new on social media. You know, we're doing this thing, right? And it's like, we won't get 100,000 views. How many are we at right now?
Last I checked was like 40,000.
42,000 or something like that. You're just about to grab your pistol. So
It's not my phone.
we're gonna watch the video real quick. And again, the beers say something. I got this, bro. All right, bro. If I get the right mouse. Yeah. There we go.
There we go. For all you listeners out there, please like, follow, and share this video as much as possible. So Reno has to do what he says in the video.
What's that? 84, almost 8,500 likes.
Yeah. I just looked it up. 41K.
41,000. Okay.
Per views. So.
It's only been 1 day.
41,000.
Tattoo.
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Show him the tattoo.
The raspberry.
All right, so
That's 9-5 Mike.
wait, who are you? Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Reno with Boomtown Crew Podcast. Welcome. And we have a goal here. We have something that we've all agreed with, that if we get 100,000 views
On this post,
on this post, I will personally put the helicopter right on my butt via tattoo. Let's do it. Boomtown.
Please make him do that.
Tattoo.
So
so
from
that-
that video, I'm just gonna throw it out there. It really doesn't seem like you. It really seems like you want to do this. Like, it doesn't seem like you have to do this for 100K. You might be able to get it done with like 50. I mean, there was a lot of we. In
Oh, I
this.
love where you're going with this.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it
lower the
definitely
standard, make
seemed
sure
like
it happens.
Yeah, I'm just saying it definitely was.
One of the things that we pointed out is actually two things. One, he said views, not likes.
This is true.
That views
Yeah.
are a lot easier to get. So
This is
that's
true.
Strike one. Strike two is the fact that he. Oh damn it! I just lost my train of friggin' thought.
I kept saying we.
No. Oh, you didn't say there was a time limit.
Yeah.
That was the other deal. No time
So-
limit. So it could be
Yeah.
6 years from
Do
now.
I
don't
get a
care.
little bit of leeway with
Nope.
the beers?
How many?
No. 8 minimum.
Yeah.
Lightweight.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, we don't drink that often.
I don't drink that
I
often.
should-
That was.
I should
Hey,
say
those
that.
those
Yeah,
are
you're being a judgy bitch
those
right
are
now.
pounders.
I'm
That's
just saying,
16-ounce
like,
beers.
you know, when you're
Sorry, I'll show you a
taking when
pounder.
you have eight doubles in a night like that, you know,
Yeah.
doubles of Pendleton, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm a big Pendleton
Well,
guy, which
obviously-
I know I'm gonna get a lot of crap for. Whatever, it tastes good, okay, especially with a nice mixer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
We
kind of a
don't
bougie
drink
bitch.
very often. Yeah, you
that's
are a little bitch.
No, bougie. Don't forget that part.
Gotcha. Bougie bitch.
Yes.
Yes. So this is kind of a perfect example of some of the stuff that we just happen to have in a nice safe space, whatever you want to call it. I know that sounds super PC and very, it's front thinking, forward thinking,
Safe
front
space. Okay.
Yeah, safe space.
Yeah. Am I gonna be in a safe space when my pants are down my freaking
Yes.
ankles and my butt's getting
Absolutely.
tattooed? No, you guys are gonna have the phones up.
Yes.
If
And
you're
live.
into it, it's safe.
Do I get a safe word?
Yeah, so we better tell
clock.
everybody that, hey,
Onomatopoeia.
when this does eventually happen, there will be filming involved, and it will be posted on the Boomtown Crew Podcast. It'll be
Yep.
on all of our social media somewhere in some way, shape, or form.
Good luck,
So-
bro.
It's going to happen.
It's
It's just a matter of
happening.
time.
I mean,
You might as well just go get it done now.
yeah. Well, I keep making the mistake because I keep checking it, and every time I go to check it, I'm adding to the views, right?
Yeah, it was like 200 extra views from you alone checking it yesterday.
I'm like, how many
sweating.
views is that? And I accidentally clicked. I'm like, damn it.
Tell me you don't know how TikTok works without telling me you don't know
Right?
how TikTok works.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
well,
what it is.
I'd be at the other side of the shop printing sleeves or something. Cody's on the other side of the shop, and then all I hear is that beginning part of the video. I'm like, that's a view.
I'm like, damn it. I try to get out of it, and I hit back, and the videos, there's another video that
restarts.
it
Yeah,
restarts.
yep.
I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
So the only other thing,
We're good, man.
yeah, we're good on time. So the other thing I was going to bring up outside of your ass tattoo that's definitely going to happen is if you guys hadn't noticed, we're wearing some new merch. Colton's featuring our brand new Wildlands tribute shirts, the American Fallen Heroes Fire Department Edition. Reno and I both have the structure.
The camera.
Yeah, you see it?
Yep.
There we go.
Somebody didn't put their phone on airplane mode.
That was you.
That is
Is it
me.
still recording?
All right.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Yeah.
See that? Yeah.
So back to our shameless plug for Infinite Patriot. American Fallen Heroes Fire Department Edition. We spent a lot of time, Reno spent a lot of time getting these kind of designs. See, I told you it's super loud. Don't do that.
That was,
yeah.
watch, my
Damn
bad.
table.
Yep.
There we go.
Why are you so awkward with that?
Well, this got caught.
I was
so I'm
like,
like,
why are you ducking?
well, I'm trying to get out of the mic to show this, so I'm fucking this up right now. All right.
So the
guys,
best
it's
way
my
to
first
actually
time.
view this
It's my
is
first
when
time.
it's on our Facebook or social media, as well as our website, infinitepatriot.com. Not up there quite yet. These are brand new. Like, these are the first 3 shirts, I think.
Yeah,
ever
you
printed.
get to wear the first
Incomplete.
Walden one ever.
Yeah. That is the first one.
I am special. I know that.
Yeah.
So
My
a couple
dad
other
said
things
so.
that we should probably mention. Well, I guess it's going to be released after the May show, so we can, no point in mentioning that. So other than that, I mean, is there anything else? I mean, what are we at?
We're at
an hour and 10
over
minutes.
an hour. We'll have to get you on again, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
I mean,
fun.
yeah.
There's so
whenever-
much more stuff
Yeah.
we could talk about.
Oh yeah. I mean, going down, one of the things that, might interest people as well is like the whole fuels mitigation side of things.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
guys are looking at building your crew, or someday building a crew.
One day.
We've had one for, holy crap, we're almost going on 20 years.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
2008 was when we started
Yep.
the crew.
that's right.
No kidding.
So I've obviously not been a part of it for that long. So
No,
but,
you were in junior high school?
In diapers.
If
No,
it's
not that.
well, yeah. So 2028, I guess, would be 20 years. So
Yeah.
18 years. I guess I didn't realize that when I had you put that on the shirt. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind
That's
of wild to
crazy.
think about.
Yeah. I was a junior in high school.
I was younger than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So you
definitely
both were in diapers.
Listen here, old man.
Whoa.
But yeah, I mean, there's always, we can always talk about stuff like that. I mean, we can keep walking down this training route for years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if we
There's
want
no
to,
shortage of content.
But yeah, no.
Well,
I mean,
that's- and
thanks for
that's
having me
the-
on for sure.
That's the most important part that we want to do, the Boomtown Crew. We want to develop a community with all of us.
Yeah.
So like if we see these problems, we want to talk about them.
Yep.
Or have fun at the same time too. So like that's our biggest goal right now, and how we can work with each other. I know Wilden season's coming up soon, so we're starting to.
Sooner than we may want it to, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday was the first rain we've had, first moisture we've had since
Rain, a little bit of snow.
Yeah.
January?
Yeah.
Beginning of
Yeah.
January?
It's been really dry.
really freaking dry, and I'm not quite ready for it yet. I want to think I am.
Yeah, we've already been
no.
chasing grass
Chasing
fires
fires.
this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we've had 5 or 6.
Yeah.
now,
We
just
had
in our
one
area.
yesterday in the rain.
Of course,
a
you did.
legit one.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah. I wasn't on it. I was still in my process of getting to work when the call went out. But yeah, the guys that were on it, it was about what did he say? A 3-foot by 10-foot section of roots that had caught on fire from a campfire about 100 or about 10 yards away the night before. And it was actively burning in the rain and snow yesterday morning.
Wow.
Yeah, at like 8, it was like 7:50 in the morning when they got called in.
Yeah, it's one of those fires like on the mop up on the larger complex fires, or it doesn't even have to be a complex fire. 1,000-acre grass fire in the trees burns through the roots. Rains, it snows. We've seen that. Like that assignment in Helena, it got freaking cold the first couple of nights, and it froze. And we had, I think, like a half an inch layer of snow one morning.
Yeah, I had to take a picture of it. That was one of the first times that not only the inside of my tent, but the outside of my tent looked about the same as far as how frozen it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was freaking cold. But then people are like, "Oh, fire's out." Well, no, unfortunately not. You'd be surprised how tree roots and the balls of roots and other.
What was it? 2 days
stones.
later, we started seeing smoke again.
Yep.
Like pretty significant smoke.
And it takes a lot of effort. You get a lot of cases, dig it out by hand.
Yep.
So, but anyway, we should probably wrap up.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being on the show. And
Absolutely.
We'll
Thanks for
definitely have you
having
come
me.
in.
Thank you.
So,
I'm looking
all
forward
right.
to it.
Well,
I know you guys don't have to have this in here, but at some point when you're talking about like your crazy stories or things you do to pass the time,
Yep.
we can make that interactive too. By the way, like, hey, if you guys have crazy stories, whatever on that,
Yeah.
or people watching the podcast, that, and maybe just appreciate continued support for a podcast. That could be at a later time too, but
Yeah.
just throwing that out there because I know
Sweet.
we're talking about the shirts and stuff, but
Yeah. Me trying to lift myself up and get caught here and
super
trying to.
awkward, Reno.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of. I don't even have words for that. And I'm not one that loses his words very often. I can talk a lot.
Yeah, we know.
I'm always awkward in front of the camera.
It's
happens.
not just in front of the camera.
Yeah, let me do the outro real
Oh
quick.
yeah, I'm ready for this one.
All right.
I'm watching.
All right.
Continue.
Thank you for joining us at the Boomtown Crew Podcast. Shane doesn't have a cool saying yet, so future video.
Boomtown
Thanks for
out.
joining us.
Do you
Boomtown.
want me to say it?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
for it.
All right.
We got work to do.
Well, we got more work to do. Boomtown, Reno out.
Booyah.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks for the assist.